Hello, Mercer County viewers. I'm Mandy DeWeese.
And I'm Dave Ryden. We're coming to you from the studio at Hopewell Valley High School.
Dave and I are spokespersons for the TV programming class here at the high school. Our class made 4 videos that are a part of our program.
We have 5 other videos filmed in the community or in our studio that we're going to show you also. Mandy, what's up first?
Well, Dave, first up we have a video of spring sports, which, as you know, Dave, are important parts of Hopewell life.
Is this the video made by Casey Burns, Gil Johnson, Jenny Vegas, and Cindy Holcomb?
Yes, it is. Let's watch.
Comparison is that we hope we have more experience this year. We hope we have some senior leadership. We kind of hope that we don't make the same dumb mistakes we made last year, and I think we can be a very competitive baseball team. I do believe that the younger kids, Vlasic and little Kivler, will probably step up, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job. And I think with a little encouragement, they'll fill the bill and they'll fit the holes real good. Well, I think our team's strength is 2 pitchers, a fairly reasonable defensive infield, and I do believe putting the ball in play will probably be our best strengths. Well, I think a goal that everybody has is we want to get to the state tournament, and I think that'll be our hardest goal to achieve. But I think if we get there, that tournament is a 2-pitcher tournament, and I think that we can do some major damage there. I think we can be very successful in a Group 2 state tournament. So our biggest deal is to get there.
You always lose key players. You know, last year we lost Tammy Roman, our catcher, and Kim Ted stepping up, and she's doing a pretty good job for us, and I think she's going to get better as the season progresses. Well, initially, you know, one of the biggest strengths has to be our pitching. Corey Balkins, strong pitcher. Our infielders, they're pretty strong, and we've got some pretty good arms in the outfield. So I just wish we had a little bit more team speed, and that would help us. But overall, our biggest strength, of course, is our pitching. Well, we'd like to win the CVC Valley division. That's the first thing. Secondly, we'd like to get in the state tournament. And third, we'd like to win more than 1 game in the state tournament. So all of that's important to us right now.
Some key losses were Joe Ramsey. He was a distance runner. Michael Vester was a weight man, javelin thrower. Steve Gazillo, another shot putter, weight man. Let's see, Simon Carcagno, a hurdler. They're going to be hard people to replace. They were really good as far as getting the team together and making sure everyone was where they were supposed to be, working hard. But this year's seniors, like I said before, are a really good group. Sam Floyd, Dan Petrillo, Eric Stauffer, Dustin Rubenstein, Joe Muley. It's just a great bunch of kids, and you know, I think they're going to do a fine job. It's going to be tough to replace them next year when they leave this year, so the juniors have to step up. We have at least 1 good athlete in every single event. We cover the whole lineup pretty well, so a team can't just go into one event and try and, you know, bombard us with points. We have at least 1 good athlete in every single event, so I think just you know, a whole range of athletes. We have a very good, versatile lineup. We can, you know, interchange people. So it's kind of hard right now. It's the season hasn't started yet, so it's a little hard to make a prediction. But I would say if we could finish in the top 4 overall in the county meet, and I'd say top 3 in the state sectionals, it'd be a very good year, and we should be able to achieve that. This year's team should have no problem with those goals.
Mandy, do you know what kind of season these teams had this year?
No, Dave. I'd like to know because it is my senior year, and information like that is important, I think. I guess I'll have to wait for the yearbooks.
Or maybe ask someone on one of these teams. I don't know either.
I hope all their hard work has paid off.
Speaking of hard work, this next video shows some Timberlane students and how hard they worked on a play called Little Miss Christy.
The segment we have has Annie Matches as Alice, Max Small as Andy, Megan Henninger as Aunt Martha, John Bayless as Officer Moriarty, Amy Kokobinski as Aunt Helen, Rennie Grames as Madame Orloff, Jessica Pepperman as Christy, and Tim O'Neill as George. Let's watch.
So far, the best bit of evidence is the Mad Monk himself.
Oh?
You saw him, and Aunt Martha saw him. And those kids from Greystone Academy saw him.
You mean if everyone saw him, he couldn't have been a ghost?
That's the general idea.
Then who was he?
Ah, there's the rub. Who was he?
Who was he? Who was he?
Who was he?
Who was he? Is that all you're going to do, Moriarty? Stand there, one who tried to strangle my aunt?
Police work takes time, Mr. Saltmarsh.
So does murder.
Attempted murder.
Maybe you're not up to this investigation.
I'll be on my way. No need to show me out. I'll leave by the garden. I'll keep in touch.
You mustn't be rude to Moriarty, George. He's clumsy, but he does his best.
His best is not good enough.
What is it you want, George?
All in good time.
Why the mystery?
No mystery. You've a visitor.
A visitor? Who? Yes, sir?
Would you show in Madame Orloff?
Madame Orloff? Did you say Madame Orloff? That terrible woman who wrote that awful newspaper story about Saltmarsh Manor?
As far as the article is concerned, it's been written many times by many writers over the years.
But why is she coming here?
Because I invited her.
George! Have you taken leave of your senses? Madame Orloff.
Don't anyone move. Don't anyone breathe. I must have silence. Complete silence. Silence.
She's the only one making any noise. I don't know what you're hoping to prove, George.
Oh! The spirits! Spirits! Where? I can sense the spirits linger in the light. Oh! What is it? Evil. I can feel evil. Evil everywhere.
See here, Madame Orloff.
No need to introduce yourself. Madame Orloff sees everything. Madame Orloff hears everything. Madame Orloff knows everything. You are Miss Helen Saltmarsh, correct?
I am Helen Saltmarsh.
You are Martha Saltmarsh.
Why has my nephew invited you here, Madame Orloff? I don't approve of his actions.
Madame Orloff feels she could be of some help. You're both on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
I will force the evil spirit of Augustus Grimm to materialize.
You can actually do that? Preposterous.
Trust me, I once captured the ghost of the New York Public Library by reciting the entire works of Edgar Allan Poe. Didn't even pause for a sip of water.
The ghost liked your reciting?
Just the opposite. I knew he despised Edgar Allan Poe. Couldn't stand the fellow. I understand that this was a literary critic in his life. It was promised that I would never again recite aloud from those writings. He held vacant promises.
Well, where did the ghost go?
I believe he haunts a middle school in New Jersey.
You actually expect me to believe all this mumbo-jumbo?
Every word is because of truth. You have it on the best authority.
Whose authority?
My own!
Well, what will happen if the spirit of Augustus Grimm does materialize? Do you catch it and bottle it? Something like that?
I will drive him from the house! Forever.
Ah, there you are, Christy.
Thought we'd better check in.
What's been happening today? George sprung a surprise. This is Miss Blake.
Don't tell me! It is unnecessary. I see the initial C. For St. Cynthia. Or Cindy. Or yes, Christy. Is that correct?
Yes, my name is Christy. Christy Blake.
You got it. It's a gift.
Well, your talents are wasted in this town. I suggest you join a carnival and pitch a tent. This is Madame Orloff.
I thought we'd try every possible angle. That's why I think a seance might be a good idea.
Seance? You didn't say anything about a seance.
It's the only way to exorcise evil. I must see the house, every nook and cranny. That way I'll be in touch with the dark forces. I must feel the danger in order to destroy it.
It's a pretty big house. My sister and I will show you the house. Oh, go along with her, George. I'd like a word with Christy.
After you, Madame Orloff. Aunt Martha?
When are you going to have this seance?
Tonight.
What time?
Midnight.
Wow, that gypsy really got into it.
Yes, she did, but she got good reactions from the other actresses and actresses. It was all well done, and I hear that the audiences who saw Little Miss Christy really enjoyed it.
Well, what's not to enjoy? Coming up, we have two Timberlane students, Morgan Costagna and Sarah Galbraith, who are doing a dance routine.
Our TV programming class taped these girls right here in our studio, So let's see the video.
Look for the clue in a locket or a clock or a shoe. Look for the clue, though it leads you down a dark, unending avenue. Follow the quest, searching every drawer and closet and chest, looking high and low to east or to west, till finally you arrest the criminal. Look for the trace in an album or a trunk or a vase. Look for the trace, or a clue that's in a dim, secluded hiding place. Follow the trail, overlooking not the slightest detail. Let your sense of perseverance prevail and look for the clue. Cover each inch of carpet, do it with a fine-tooth comb, inspecting the stairway that you climb. Just hunt through each nook and cranny, cellar to the dome. You'll soon find that you have solved the crime. Show you're a sleuth. Search the basement, the attic, and the roof. Show you're a sleuth, and you'll eventually discover the proof. Try to ascend all the problems that you can't comprehend, and eventually the riddle will end when finally you apprehend the criminal. Follow the plot, you'll discover that the trail will get hot. Follow the plot, keep remembering that X marks the spot. Follow the track of the footprints that you found out in back. Then you move right in and make the attack. Follow the track, stick to the plot, things will get hot. Look for the trace, clear up the case. Follow the quest, make the arrest. Bid all fears adieu, search with daring do. Look for the clue.
Take go.
You can tell they really practice a lot to get their synchronization down. That's tough to do.
I think one of those cameras is faulty. I mean, magically, the color of their costumes changed from red to purple and then to red again. I know they didn't have enough time to change between scenes.
True. The camera is messed up, but speaking of change, the high school's attendance policy changed this year, and it affected a lot of kids.
That's true. Dave and I, along with Maura Longino, Tori Klaus, and Juan Lopez, made a video showing two sides of this issue. I hope you enjoy it.
The attendance policy as it is now says that a student is supposed not to be able to miss more than 15 days of class of a particular period in a full semester course, in a full year course, or 8 days in a semester course. The differences between previous years and this year is that we used to have this built-in makeup time where we would pay teachers to come in on Saturdays to sit with students. We did away with that, thinking that if we really wanted to have an attendance policy that was worth something, then students should be expected to come to school and meet their obligations.
Yeah. I might not be graduating this year due to my attendance and sick days this year. I've been late. I've been tardy to school many times, and they add up. And with this new attendance policy, they add up to every 2 tardies is an absence or something like that, or maybe every 4. I'm not quite sure how it works, but they add up and give you extra days.
If you obviously know the material, there's no reason for you to not graduate because of that. And a lot of it is because as like high school students, we do a lot and we have a tendency to get colds and not feel well, and every once in a while need to sleep. And the only way that the school feels that you're sick is if you have like an ongoing disease like mono. But otherwise, I guess you're just supposed to come to school and get sicker so you eventually do get mono or something like that. If you can go to that class and understand everything that the teacher's telling you, there's no reason why you should be held back for not being there.
I get adequate grades in my classes, 60 or above. I've been trying to raise grades in one of my classes, and I think that's working. I also think that if I get these adequate grades in my classes, this attendance should be overlooked. If I tried hard enough to pass my classes, I don't see why this attendance should be such a big problem.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there aren't students who are capable of missing class and doing really good work. That's not true. There are kids that are capable of doing that, but I think it's part of the responsibility of the school to have people be here and to be on task, and I think that's part of training for what goes on later in life.
Attendance policy is definitely working for the worst. It's ridiculous the amount of students that aren't, I don't want to say not going to graduate, that are in danger of not graduating. This year, it's probably the highest number of students that have been in danger of not graduating from Hopewell in its history. And you know, people should see that it's not working out. It's not only the students that see it, but soon the parents are going to start seeing it, the teachers, the faculty. People are going to start noticing it's just not working out, and it's definitely working for the worst.
As the principal who lives by the policy, I think it's in the best interest of kids. That's not always easy for students to accept, but I think it is. I think being responsible, meeting your obligations, being where you're supposed to be is pretty important. There will be some that will be not graduating because of a combination of not coming to school and not doing any work. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of students who've dropped out too, who were in that kind of situation. I don't think it's going to be any major number or any significant number, but there are a couple of people that are in jeopardy. I certainly would hope that we're trying to give a message that says if you're supposed to be on the job and your job is school, that you take it seriously and that you come to school.
I wonder if there'll be a lot of kids who won't graduate because of the new attendance policy.
Well, I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Hey Mandy, have you noticed anything strange in Hopewell Township lately?
You mean that new retirement community that they're building?
No, even better. The Hopewell Township Police started up a bike patrol.
Wow, that's definitely new. So what kind of bike? Better yet, do we have a video?
Yes, Mandy, we do. Officer Peltz will answer all of our questions. So let's watch.
Aspect of the program. There's been a trend over the past couple of years for or towards a more community policing type of activity on behalf of the police departments. And this gives us the opportunity to interact with the citizen walking down the street, again, the merchants, juveniles in the area, and we think this can be an extremely rewarding and positive experience from the end of the police officer as well as the people within the community. Getting into some of the equipment that we utilize, starting with the bicycle itself, we've obtained 2 Mongoose IBOC, which stands for International Bike of Champions, comp bicycles. They're mountain bikes. They consist of an aluminum frame, which is extremely light, yet the bonding of the frame is strong in nature, which will enable us to go off-road with it without damaging the bike itself. The bike has 21 speeds, all of which I can honestly say have not been utilized by myself at this time. It has an audible warning device, which is required by law, a bell, manual bell. as well as lighting, which consists of a direct beam, a fog type of light which encompasses a larger area, as well as a combination of both. The bikes have a rear saddlebag, which each officer can complement however he feels is necessary, although it will always carry certain equipment such as flashlights, first aid equipment, and necessary forms that we may need to conduct our police functions, just as the officers within the patrol vehicle themselves need to do, or on foot. Getting back to the light for a moment, the light is a rechargeable battery, and the battery itself is contained within this water bottle, which was altered for that purpose. Some of the equipment that the officers carry, we do of course wear a protective helmet. This is a hard shell helmet. If the officer were to fall while in the course of cycling onto some hard pavement or something of that nature, the helmet would hit and skid, thus not driving the officer's head into the pavement, creating a neck injury or something along those lines. The other type of helmet that can be considered is the type with the mesh over it. It accomplishes the same purpose. The mesh will give way and enable the helmet to slide. Against contrary belief, the mesh isn't just for designs. It actually serves a purpose on those type of helmets. We've elected to go with these hard shell helmets, and we've labeled such so that they can't be mistaken for just your average cyclist. We do have cycling gloves or even weightlifting gloves that we utilize, as well as eye protection for the officers. In school, it was related to us that these are the three most important things that the officer can have in regards to bicycling for personal protection. The officers will be carrying our traditional handheld portable radio on them for communications with base. They of course don't have a setup such as you would find in a patrol car because of the obvious restrictions of the bicycle, but the handheld radio will enable us to speak with the patrol car in the area if necessary, as well as base. And so far it's been a positive experience with the handheld unit. I haven't experienced a problem up to this point. The only other thing in regards to equipment would be the fact that you may have seen police officers with the traditional PR-24 baton type of mechanism. That's one piece, and of course, again, you're dealing with restrictions on the bicycle. What we're going to be obtaining is an expandable PR-24, which will be easier for the officer to carry on the belt, which again, the belts are designed to be lighter in weight. We carry the same equipment that we carry on regular patrol, but it is lighter in weight. We'll be able to carry the expandable PR-24 with us. If that's needed, it's just a matter of the officer taking it out, getting it to expand to the proper length, and it can be utilized at that point. Again, the flashlights, a lot of officers carry larger 5-cell flashlights, 4-cell flashlights. We're going to be going with a rechargeable smaller light that's actually just as powerful, but again, because of the restrictions of the bike, will enable us to carry it with us while we're on patrol. I can honestly say that the department is looking forward to implementing this type of patrol coverage. It's an opportunity again for us to get more interaction. People enjoy the opportunity to be able to speak with the police officers on a one-on-one basis, as opposed to just seeing the patrol car driving by occasionally. And actually, police bicycling was implemented in departments around the country a substantial time before the advent of the motor vehicle. As the motor vehicle became more popular, police techniques shifted towards the motor vehicle, But again, as I related, in this day and age, we're going back to a more community oriented type of police work, and the bicycle is going to prove to be an important part of that, even for a rural area such as Hopewell Township. It's been proven extremely effective in larger cities and suburban areas already. I would relate that anybody who has any questions in regards to the Bicycle Patrol can contact our agency at 609-737-3100. And again, in closing, I would just like to state that should you see an officer in the area, it's not somebody dressed up as a police officer. It's going to take some getting used to. The officers are appropriately marked with police markings on their uniform, and it will be on the bicycle as well. So don't be surprised should you encounter a Hopewell Township police officer on bicycle patrol. Thank you.
I wonder if they'll expand the bike patrol program. It looks like it's a great plan for improving community relations.
I agree. I bet these officers will get to know a lot of people in their neighborhoods they patrol.
Yeah, the officers will also keep in shape, I bet.
That's for sure. Say, Mandy, do you know what a May Day celebration is?
I think so, Dave. Isn't it a group of people getting together on May 1st and celebrating the end of winter and the beginning of nice weather?
That's right. Mandy, sometimes they do it with parades, dancing, or service of some sort. Our next video has a special celebration that took place at Tollgate Grammar School.
Miss Janet Mills, a music teacher at Tollgate, organized the special presentation, which has the Millstone River Morris dancers performing and a maypole ribbon dance.
Sounds great. Let's watch.
From the looks of it, those elementary children really enjoyed participating.
Yes, and it was a great success.
Our next video is with Wendy Velasic, Melissa McKee, Megan DeMuzio, and Carrie Coleman.
Yes, and they were talking to Mr. Kerwin about different problems they encountered as new students coming to the Hopewell school system.
So let's watch and hear what they have to say about being a new student.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kerwin, and I'm here today with some students to discuss an aspect of student social life. First, I'd like to have these students introduce themselves.
My name is Megan DeMuzio, and I'm a senior here at Hopewell, and I've been in the district since I was in kindergarten.
My name's Melissa McKee, and I'm a senior, and I've been here since freshman year.
My name is Carrie Coleman, and I'm a junior, and I've been in Hopewell Valley since 2nd grade.
My name is Wendy Vlasic. I'm a junior, and I've been here since 5th grade.
Our discussion today deals with what it's like to be a new student in Hopewell Valley District. Some students have told me that it's a very cliquey school, and it's hard to make friends here when you're new in the district. What is your reaction to that?
I think I've been here since kindergarten, so I've always stayed with the same friends that I've had since kindergarten mostly. But I think if a new student were to come into Hopewell, I think they would see the cliques. It's not really defined, but yet there are groups of people that are just a definite clique, you know, and they just don't want anyone else to be friends with them.
There's cliques within cliques also. Like, you have basic cliques that people all hang out together, and then there's cliques within them, like few people hang out with each other all the time.
Okay. So when we're saying cliques, we're saying that groups of students will mostly hang together, and are you saying that they exclude new people from their group, or, well?
No, I wouldn't say they exclude them, but it's just that they share more together, and I mean, I understand where, like, if you told somebody something, like, you don't want anyone else to know, then, like, if someone else were to come in, if you talk about that one thing, then they'll feel left out, you know. And I don't think they purposely mean to make the other person feel excluded, but yeah, it just happens that way sometimes.
Okay, so but they might feel that way,
Right.
and you're saying they're not doing it on purpose.
Right.
Melissa, you've been here the shortest. What's your reaction?
Well, as Meg was saying, a lot of people have been together since kindergarten or like elementary school, and I've noticed that it doesn't seem like anyone does it like purposely to exclude someone. It's just it can feel as if there are a lot of cliques because they'll say, oh, remember when, you know, and they'll name some teacher and how much fun they had in 3rd grade, and they have a lot more memories to share and a lot more experiences they've had together, so they do appear to be like cliques, but I don't think it's a purposeful thing.
So sometimes you feel left out just because you don't share those same experiences with these
Right.
people. All right. What about some experiences you might have had being new someplace else or being here new at the school? Anybody have any experience like that they'd like to share with us?
I did. I came from Hamilton in 5th grade, and it was a total different lifestyle there. And I had, like, here, everyone's kind of natural looking, like straight hair. There, it's all frizzy, curly hair, and I had short hair, and it was really curly. And my first day of school, I walked in, and it was just, like, everyone was looking at me like, why are you here? And just giving me really bad looks. It gave me a very uncomfortable feeling.
So you really felt out of place.
Very much so. Very much so. But after, like, I guess a couple weeks, it was fine.
What about you, Carrie?
Well, when I first moved here, it wasn't really a big problem for me because I knew some people from church, some kids my age, but like I didn't really notice like very many cliques until we all combined into junior high school. In elementary school at Tollgate Grammar where I went, we were all just a big group of friends in my whole class, but I think as we grew older and in junior high school when everybody mixed together is when everybody started going off into their little groups.
Okay. So you really saw it happening more in junior. What, the rest of you see the same kind of thing happening or not?
I think with elementary school, like you don't really establish cliques, and it just seems like everybody's friends there. You know everyone, and I mean you may have your opinions about people, but
everyone likes to play.
Right. In elementary school, it's just like you're all the same age, and you just all try to be together. But then junior high comes, and it's like they all join together, all the schools, and you meet new friends, and you go off with other people. You know, I think that's where they get established.
Do you think this is unique to Hopewell Valley, or do you think that this is kinds of things that happen in other communities, or?
I think it happens
Do you
everywhere.
have other experiences with other communities that way?
Well, I worked in Philadelphia last summer, and when I went down, I didn't know anyone. Like, I worked for the Phillies, and I didn't know one person down there. Like, I could see, and I was the youngest one there, but I could see where, like, everyone there knew each other, or they at least knew each other to say hi. Maybe they didn't hang out together, but, like, like after a couple weeks it got a lot better because I met people, the people that I worked with. Like the youngest one I think was like 20, and I was 17 at the time, and it was I don't know. It ended up being a good summer, a really good summer. But it, like when I first got there, I used to hate to go down because I didn't know anyone.
Right.
You know, I was leaving my friends here to go down and to not know anyone, and
Right.
but it ended up being a really good summer because I met people, and I mean they accepted me as in one of them. So it was good.
When you say accepted, what kind of experiences when you all have come here or have been here made you feel accepted? Did you have experiences like that made you feel comfortable and accepted from either students or teachers?
This is back to 5th grade. It made me feel comfortable, like whenever you meet your first friend in a new place, it's always the best feeling. And I can still remember walking into the classroom and not knowing anyone, and somebody like looked past my frizzy hair, and they told me to sit next to them, and they showed me around the school, and it just made me feel really good. And then they brought me into their friends, and I started meeting their friends, and that's how I have the friends I do today.
I see. So somebody who really like kind of took you under their wing and said, "Here, I can help you."
And I'm still friends with her today.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
There was somebody who I didn't know her, and I just recognized her. She was on the bus in the morning, and coming to Hopewell, it was also a new experience. Like I'd never had to take the bus to school before, and so I walked out. It was my first day, and it was exhausting. And I was just like, okay, I want to go home. I walked out and saw 20 buses, and I didn't know how to get back home.
Oh,
and
no.
I saw one person that I had recognized, and she was in one of my classes. And I was like, I don't remember your name. I don't know how to get home, but you're on my bus. She was like, oh, okay. And she was really nice to me. And a friend of hers was supposed to go out to lunch with her, and she was kind of mad that, that this one girl was helping me. And she's like, we've been friends for so long. She's like, I'm just showing her where the bus is. And I just felt really special that she, left her friend and didn't go out to lunch with her just so she could show me how to get back on the bus.
So that she took that extra effort.
Yeah, and that really was comforting.
Right. I don't think since I've been here since kindergarten, I really haven't had experiences of being accepted. I mean, maybe first entering junior high. I went to a real small elementary school. I went to Tollgate, which was the smallest one, and a lot of my friends from Tollgate went to private schools, 7th grade. My best friend did, and a lot of my other good friends. So coming to junior high, I knew people, not the people that I hung out with that much in elementary school, but I knew them. And I guess when I came to junior high, it almost scared me because everyone else knew each other, and I didn't really. I did, but I didn't. I knew their names and stuff, but it wasn't. And it got better, of course. It was a lot easier for me than it would have been for someone coming in brand new. But it got a lot better, and it was hard at the beginning, but. I think sports also bring people together.
Okay. So thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it. And thank you for participating in this program.
It must be tough being a new student in this high school.
Yes, it looks like they had a tough time, but it seems that everyone came out okay and made friends.
I'm glad they did. Now let us introduce the next video.
It is by Steve Harback, Chris Fish, and CJ Snook. It is about 2 different kinds of hobbies.
These hobbies are actually quite interesting, so let's tune in and watch.
Favorite hobby is auto racing. Since I'd say 3rd grade, maybe 1985, 86, started going to the first track, Flemington, New Jersey, to watch. It takes a number of things to get started in racing. A lot of money, you need a lot of time to think about things, figure things out, build things, unbuild things. You got to have a lot of knowledge, some skills at least, in body work maybe, and stuff like that. You're always straightening out stuff, replacing stuff. You got to have access to parts and motor sponsor maybe, or just enough money or time to maybe pay somebody else if you can afford all that to do it. But I highly doubt it. My worst moment at the racetrack is pulling up to the starting grid and the engine not firing. Ain't nothing worse than that. You feel left out because you ain't gonna make it not even one lap. Probably the second worst is having a bad wreck at the final lap or something in the last turn and not making it across that checkered flag, especially if you're in the lead or first or second. Best moment is definitely winning a race. There's no question about that. But winning an overall championship. I'm 2 years running championship in the Snydersville racetrack in Pocono, Pennsylvania. And it's a tough thing to do. Every week you got to be on top of things. You know, if you just don't show up or something, you're not really that involved in the racing there. You got to be there every week to be a point champion. You work hard for it for 8 months, and you get a little bit of a pleasure. You get to brag about it a little bit and show a trophy or two about it, and maybe some money also. So that's probably the best part of racing and the most exciting.
My favorite hobby is car stereos. It's just, I don't know, the thrill of driving down the street and having everyone stare at you for hearing your car shake, rattle, and roll for at least good 10 blocks. You have to have at least 10 city blocks. That way you get a full going forth of what you want. I don't know, it's just a thrill. Gets me excited. Christopher, yes, I would love to do car stereos for a hobby. In the presence right now, I have my own business card, my own business, my own workshop with all my tools to do any kind of car stereos. So we make it fit no matter what it is, 18s, 12, 36s, whatever. I love to do car stereos, and I'm gonna do them for a living. My dream car stereo system is a Kenwood CD player with 4 Rockford Fosgates digital processors, 8 Rockford Fosgate crossover units, 426 36-inch subwoofers with 4,000 punch 500s and an 18-wheeler conversion. Well, Christopher, what I had in my car was an Alpine 6.6 CD changer, 5953, with an Alpine tape deck head unit, and I had 6 Freer 8-inch woofers connected to 3,000 watts with an isobaric Obcom box with 2 12-inch Pioneers, 4 sets of Rockford Fosgate 6x9s, 6 4-inch Pioneer door speakers, 8 power acoustic mid-range tweeters built by the FCC, the Fish, Crag and Cough Corporation, built at the...
You know, Dave, it's amazing. Those are 2 hobbies that I've never even heard of, yet they sound very interesting.
Yes, Mandy, they do. It's a shame they didn't do a video about my hobby.
Oh, and what's that?
Playing the guitar. I've gotten pretty good over the past couple of years.
I bet you're really good. Maybe next time you should do a video.
Maybe I will, but now I'd like to introduce the next video, which is another hobby for many people. It's about fly fishing, and it's by Jeff Young and Craig Patterson.
Fly fishing for about 8 years now.
8 years. That's not bad.
8 years, and now I'm an instructor. I teach 2 fly fishing courses.
I started to fly fish when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
So I've been doing it more than 50 years.
I took the course that I teach now. I took the course, it's a 12-week course, teaches you how to tie 12 flies. And once you get them 12 flies, you learn how to do them, you can tie anything, because it all is, you have a book here. I've got books that show you, you got 450 patterns of flies to tie. But in that 12-week course, you learn the basics, and then you can tie any fly that's in any book.
They had no idea what was going on. As a matter of fact, my teacher was my grandfather. And he was way ahead of his time, because nobody fly fished then. It was just something that was not even thought of. I belong to 2 trout fishing clubs in the Poconos. I have the house in the Adirondacks. We fish there quite a bit, and we've been going out west every year to Montana. They're primarily browns and rainbows, although there are some grayling. I'll be honest with you, I've never landed a grayling. I had one on once. They're not common anymore. They used to be the most common fish out there. Whitefish has taken over as the most common fish out there, and it's like a junk fish. It's almost like a sucker. It's a bottom feeder. They fight real good, but they're not good to catch.
I prefer trout fishing myself. Freshwater trout fishing in a nice limestone stream.
That's primarily the Northeast?
In the Northeast, right. The Northeast, primarily in the Catskills, too. That's where fly fishing was born in America, in the Catskills. Time is the best time because that's when you start having your bug hatching, your mayflies. And that's what trout feed on.
It's always the best. I think you probably catch the most fish in the spring because of the hatches that come off. As the weather gets warmer, the hatches slow down and they get smaller. So in the middle of the summer, you're fishing with flies that are 22 to 28 in size, whereas in the spring, you'd fish those same flies or similar flies that would be between 10s and 14s. When you get into the fall, you're not trying to simulate a hatch, but you're trying to simulate food. So you're probably going back to bigger flies, bigger streamers, some terrestrials are in the fall, sometimes hoppers. You're fishing a lot of streamer type flies where they're bigger again. Bigger fish are always caught in the fall.
What I see, there's nothing difficult about fly tying and fly fishing because it's all, you just got to think about it. It's all a system. You got to learn how to identify the bugs. It looks complicated at first, but it's not. It's not complicated at all because you have to think about it. You have to put a little effort into it. It's not like putting a worm on a hook and just flopping it out in the water and waiting for the bobber to go under. Here you have to use your brain a little bit and think about what you're doing.
Well, that's our show. The students in the TV programming class would like to thank you for joining us.
We had quite an experience putting this show together.
Yes, Dave, it was quite an experience. Not only did we learn about video production and camera operation, we also got some practice in working together as a team.
Teamwork is equally important, but it still was quite an experience.
We'd like to thank all those people who are in our videos, who took the time to perform for us in our studio.
Mr. Flagel and Mr. Dillon should be thanks for guiding us through this adventure.
From the students at Hopewell Valley Central High School, I'm Mandy DeWeese.
And I'm Dave Ryden. Goodbye.
We are a family. Yeah, yeah. All my brothers, sisters, and me. Yeah.
I think Habitat for Humanity is a very worthwhile cause because it's not as though they give it away for free. The people have to provide 500 hours of work themselves, and it gets the community involved a lot. Hopewell's been doing it for the last couple of years, and just it brings a lot of kids together to help people that we would never meet unless it was under these circumstances.
Okay, here we are in Trenton on Oak Street, surrounded by a bunch of row houses, working for Habitat for Humanity. This morning, I cut a bunch of string we tied up piles of wood, and I carried lumber from a work site just down the street, and met some really interesting people. The work site they're building 3 more row houses. Here we're just kind of fixing things up.
Put us on tape. Yeah. Put us on tape.
Yes, sir, when you see a guy with the stars in the sky, you can bet that he's doing awesome law. When you spot a John waiting out in the rain, chances are he's insane, as only a John can be for a Jane. When you meet a gent paying all kinds of rent for a butt that can flatten Taj Mahal, call it sad, call it funny, but it's better than even money that the guy's only doing it for some dough. When you see a Joe saving half of his dough, you can bet they'll be making it for some dough. When a bum buys wine like a bum can afford, it's a cinch in the bum, it's under the thumb of some little fraud. When you meet a bum, maybe out of the jug, lifting platinum for the wall. Call it hell, call it heaven, it's probable 12 to 7 that the guy's only doing it for some dough. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck if you've never been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Let a gentleman see how nice a lady can be. I know the way you treated others.
You guys got to play the game of your lives today.